It's Steve Lamothe, the founder at Elevate Realty Group, and thank you so much for embarking on this journey with us in what we call our concierge program to ensure that your home can sell as fast as possible for the most money possible. And it's really important that you watch this video. We'll try to keep it short, but this is the first of several videos to explain what's the process and what to expect and ways to avoid frustration, miscommunications, and all of that. Our agents are especially trained to know what to update, what upgrades to make, and how to facilitate, the most easy, seamless experience, because we've done this now over 800 times, right? So you have to trust that we've done this before. All of our contractors have worked with us for years. We trust them, but that doesn't mean things don't happen, mistakes get made, right? It's how we respond to those and how we recover. So in this video, we're just going to talk about the overall introduction to what to expect next, right? So what you can expect is over the next week or two, we're going to compile all of the estimates that we're going to need to make an informed decision. We've learned over time, if we start giving you one estimate at a time and discussing those, it starts to become very complex. We forget the first estimate after we have reviewed it 3 days later and we're reviewing another estimate, right? The best steps are to get all the estimates up front, nice and clean. It might take a week, week and a half. And then once we have the inspections and estimates, your agent will sit down with you and review those estimates to make sure, do you approve with the cost? Do you want to change things? Or do you want to move forward with the program in general, right? This is the cleanest, simplest method to get all the estimates up front. And oftentimes, we might get additional estimates for work we're not sure we want to do, but we want to see how much it would cost to do that work to see if we want to add it onto the list, right? So step one is having patience and working very quickly with us to try to get the vendors in to give you estimates so you can make an educated decision on what to do, right? Number two, as we make a decision of what to do, it's really important to note that in that initial group of estimates, we're trying to get at least 95% of any of the repairs that we might think come up in the initial estimate so that we can have a pretty concrete idea of how much money you're going to spend to prepare and get ready to sell the home. Any repairs that we are recommending, my philosophy is the repairs we're recommending are things everyone knows that if a buyer came through the house would probably note and want for themselves. We're not trying to renovate kitchens and bathrooms and flip your home, right? We're just trying to eliminate any of the challenging things in a home that we know for certain every buyer is going to want. Paint, flooring, dry rot, these kinds of things. So in the initial bulk of estimates, we're trying to cover 95% of all of those repairs. In some cases, we may not be able to get estimates for things that we think we might do, but we just don't have time to go one by one and say a bunch of handyman items. We don't typically go get estimates for fixing small leaks and all of these little things. We might just throw out an estimate and say we might take 5 or 6 hours of the handyman. It might cost this much, right? It's important to know there is some flexibility when we're setting this process up to ensure that we can move quickly through the process. So after we've made a decision, our entire goal is in the estimate phase, we want to get the estimates done within a week and a half, right? That's really fast from the initial meeting of when you said you want to use concierge. Once we have a decision from you and you want to move forward with the repairs, our next goal is to have those repairs done within 2 weeks. So from start to finish, our goal is to finish this all within 3 to 3.5 weeks and have a home that is market ready. So we're going to be moving quickly and there's a lot that can go wrong with miscommunications when you're scheduling vendors, right? This is really important to note, and the next video you're going to watch is how to avoid miscommunications. But the key is, we might schedule 5 different vendors that we don't control. They're not our employees. They don't work for us. They're just good partners. that are going to schedule times with you to see the property or go look at the property. But a good rule of thumb is give any scheduled appointment a 30-minute window, right? Because if they say they're going to be at 10, they could come at 9:30 or 10:30, right? Like, we have no control of when they show up. And it's really important not to let that frustrate you, because this process of doing concierge is 10 times more complex, and there's so much more room for miscommunication and frustration than just you hiring us to take pictures for you and list your home and put it in the MLS, right? We don't make really any extra money by offering this service. In fact, it adds a huge stress load and a lot of time. We firmly believe that we're adding more value to our customers, and it's worth all that extra effort and work to have a true partnership with our clients to add money for their net profit. So this is your first video. I try to keep it short. Remember, the steps in the process, there's really two different steps: the estimate phase and then the repair phase. Really important to note. Next video, we're going to talk about how to avoid frustration and miscommunications, and overall, some of the rules of the road of the